let's start with a quick introduction. What is your name, role, and what were you doing before you joined Flashpoint?
I'm Andrew Borene. I'm the new Executive Director for Business Development for Flashpoint National Security Solutions. I spent the last 3 years in the U.S. government as a senior intelligence officer, leading efforts on counterterrorism and privacy for counterintelligence. And then spent my last year working at National Intelligence University, where I led research efforts for both classified and unclassified use.
How do you see your skills and experience aligning with the goals and vision of Flashpoint?
First off, Flashpoint is just a phenomenal company. I love how Flashpoint has assembled people with really top tier skills from across the intelligence community, law enforcement, counter fraud, and on the commercial space. It's rare to see a company bring that much human capital together with that much expertise. So there's the human aspect of the company that I'm very, very excited about. And then on the technology side, it's got an unmatched data set and access to dark web content with some persistent presence that allows us to continue to get access. That really, there's actually not another place I'd rather be working right now outside of government.
What are your thoughts on the current state of the industry in regards to the overlap of commercial intelligence and open source intelligence? Are there any emerging trends or challenges that you believe will impact our company's growth and development?
Yeah, I mean, this really is the moment for commercialized threat intelligence, and not just cyber threat intelligence. We certainly have seen the cyber threat intelligence and the data feeds and the visualization tools really come online with security operations centers in the space at Fortune 500 and 2,000 companies, and large public sector organizations as well, really focusing on getting ahead of threat and looking forward. It's well established in cyberspace. I think what we are now seeing, and this is why Flashpoint's kind of about to have its moment, is also taking data that is collected in cyberspace, but might be relevant to a threat outside of cyberspace. So physical threats, threats to human beings in the organization, reputational threats, more than just CVE data, but what's the intent of these adversaries or criminals that are seeking to do harm. And so we're seeing it in Ukraine, where external non-governmental entities oftentimes are scooping governmental entities in terms of what's about to happen in the battle space or what has happened in the battle space. And like I said, I think the cybersecurity profession is very well attuned to the value of threat intelligence. And I think what we're starting to see now is security and risk management professionals in other fields are now saying, hey, these same types of tools will help us understand the intent of our threats in ways that we previously were not leveraging.
How do you plan to leverage your unique expertise to navigate these challenges and to help our partners navigate these challenges?
Yeah, I've got 20 plus years working in and out of the private sector and the public sector. Everything I've done has really, since leaving the Marine Corps in 2004, has been focused on bringing together public and private sector partnerships. So at one point it was advanced technology and robotics. At another point it was link analysis tools and data visualization platforms at IBM. And even when I was at Symantec before their acquisition, I spent several years building a team of top secret cleared people to really serve US agency needs in cyberspace with not just endpoint protection, but also awareness of what was happening in the cyber domain. So I really look forward to putting all of that together to build more capable information sharing across the United States. And I put 3 tiers. You have the United States interagency. You have our closest allies in the Five Eyes that are all based around the US-UK alliance. It includes Canada, Australia, New Zealand. And then you have the next tier out, which I would think of as NATO proper, as the alliance itself. And then that kind of third tier is bilateral partnerships. And using open source intelligence and sharing it in the same way that cyber threat intelligence is shared across that public-private divide is going to create a common awareness amongst the United States, its allies, and its security partners, so that we can take concerted action together. And that's really what I'm excited about I left government and now I'm in the private sector, but I get to help build that connective tissue with the US and our most trusted special ally here in the United Kingdom, those other Five Eyes partners, and NATO, and really it's a way to start connecting security professionals in the free world with information that will inform them of threats. And those threats can come from states, they can come from criminals. It doesn't matter where the threat comes from. We want to stop bad guys.
How do you see the world of cyber threats and the world of physical threats, physical security, on the ground, tangible situations? How do you see those two merging, and the software and the tooling and the data to build awareness around those threats? How do you see all of that kind of combining over the next few years?
That's a great question. We've been having a lot of conversation about it externally with some UK partners. I had a great conversation with the former Deputy National Security Advisor here in the United Kingdom, Patty McGuinness, several months ago about what we were talking about as convergence. And it's a convergence of the threats, right? I think a perfect example where you see this cyberspace, real world, energy critical infrastructure nexus is in the case in the United States. We've seen people taking pot shots with rifles at substations, and it knocks out the power. It's a kinetic attack on energy infrastructure with cyber ramifications. And so, that's one mechanism in which it matters. Another mechanism is we're going to continue to see things like deep fakes, where now people's likenesses on the internet or in cyberspace, or even on their phones or social media, Snapchat, etc., can be spoofed, and not just relatives, but large scams. So now spear phishing and whaling goes to a whole new level when the CEO of a company gets a video chat from their general counsel. So staying ahead of threat and what the intent of the threat is can help alert decision makers in these really sensitive industries or government services, to be aware and have at least their defenses up and awareness to what's coming from which direction. Because it's absolutely impossible to defend 100% of the space all the time from all the various means of fraud or terrorist damage to physical infrastructure, or hurting a company's brand, and with misinformation. So I think insight into what adversaries or people who are inimical to an organization's interests are really has to drive how defense gets done, whether it's physical, human landscape, or cyber.
How do you envision contributing to our overall success and fostering strategic partnerships? Are there any specific initiatives or projects that you're excited to lead?
Look, I'm excited to just be on the team. I've been having conversations with Josh Lefkowitz and Brian Brown and Donald Salinger and the whole Flashpoint National Security Solutions team. And I keep telling people, and I mean it, I fill sandbags. I do windows. I love one thing about this company I've learned is nobody is afraid to jump in and do work to get stuff done. And I love that. I hope that never changes about the organization. And so, it's a long way to start, but in short, I think I'm most excited about establishing go-to-market partnerships that will serve, again, those Five Eyes most trusted allies of the United States. From this base here in London, I'll be able to reach out to a whole other set of OEM and resellers and services providers in addition to the customers. And if you kind of think about, again, that scaling out then to NATO plus the other bilateral partners, I love working with foreign partners. It's always been one of the highlights of a career. And so I really look forward to kind of learning and helping Flashpoint grow into unique ecosystems, because every bilateral partner of the United States has a unique ecosystem for how they digest information, how they govern privacy oversight, how do they use it for law enforcement or intelligence or for defense. So, learning those ecosystems is something I'm very excited about, and bringing these tools that I know have value to U.S. partner nations, I guess, is my second most exciting thing I get to do.
Well, we're tremendously excited to have you on board. It's been great welcoming you to the team this week, and really looking forward to working with you more. That's all the questions we have. So thanks so much for your time today, Andrew, and it's been great talking to you. Looking forward to working with you.
Likewise, really excited to be here with Flashpoint, and I think that the next 3 to 5 years for this company are going to be extremely rewarding for everybody who's part of it.